Good morning, guys. I am here to handle 9th standard biology lessons. First of all, I welcome you all for this new academic year. In this academic year, under the subject science, we have some 16 physical science lessons, 8 biology lessons, and 3 computer science lessons. Our table of contents include these 16 lessons, as I said, and from 17th lesson our biology portion starts. As I said before, 8 lessons. These are the 8 lessons which are included under biology, and from lesson 25, 26, 27, these are the 3 computer science oriented lessons. So this is our entire year's table of content. Our first topic in biology lesson is animal kingdom. So in this lesson we are going to learn the classification of animals. So this picture shows you find different types of animals, and behind you also see some plants and certain microorganisms which is not visible in this picture. So basically, to start with, we have living organisms and non-living organisms in this world. Certain features are found in living organisms, and so we call it as living, and certain features we don't come across in non-living substances. For example, non-living substances cannot move of their own, they cannot grow, they cannot respire, they cannot undergo nutrition or consume food or digest, they cannot locomote, they cannot excrete. So these are the characteristics which are found in living and not found in non-living substances. So that makes the difference between living and non-living. Again I repeat, living organisms can respire, locomote or move, they can take nutrition, they can excrete, they can reproduce, and so we consider these organisms that can undergo these factors as living organisms, and those which cannot undergo these features, that is which cannot reproduce, which cannot excrete, which cannot take nutrition, which cannot move of their own, are called as non-living substances. In this lesson we are going to learn about animals. Before that, let me give a small idea of classification of living organisms. There are various scientists who have classified living organisms, and there are various scientists who have classified animals. But among those scientists who have classified living organisms, there are few whose ideas are accepted by the world, and among those few, very few or 1 or 2 scientists' ideas or their classifications are accepted by all people of this world. The widely accepted classification by all the people of this world is Dr. Whittaker. So this man is Dr. Whittaker, who classified living organisms into 4 different types. This is supposed to be the classification of Whittaker. He classified living things into 5 different types of kingdoms. So which includes Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae and animalia. Again I repeat, kingdom Monera, which includes bacteria. Then second, kingdom Protista, as it is in the picture you can understand, which includes amoebae and unicellular animals, okay, like paramecium. Then third, kingdom Fungi, which includes all fungus, fungi. Singular is fungus and plural is fungi. And fourth one is kingdom Plantae, which include all plants. And at last kingdom Animalia, which include all animals. So this they call it as Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification, named after the scientist R.H. Whittaker. It is called as Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification, which includes kingdom Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae and Animalia. When you look around the world, you find different types of living organisms. Different types of plants, different types of animals, different types of humans. So we are not alike. We are different, entirely different. Each one is different from other. The reason behind this, why each and every living organism is different, is none other than our chromosomal nature or our DNA. So it is because of the DNA. So what I am trying to say is that each individual has a different type of DNA, and that's why each and every individual is different from the other. So this can be connected to the topic heredity and variation. So that is, when you find similarities among organisms or among human beings, it is called as heredity. And when you find or wherever you find differences, that is called as variation. So based on this concept, you come across different types of organisms, which can be studied under the topic biodiversity in higher classes. Okay. Where do you find this DNA or this chromosome? So if you look into a cell comprises of cell membrane. Inside the cell membrane, you have a fluid called a cytoplasm. And inside this cytoplasm, you have nucleus and other organelles. Inside this nucleus, you find the presence of DNA. So all this you might have learned in 8th standard or 9th standard. And this DNA, which is responsible for all our characteristics. And this DNA is found in a double helical structure. We'll learn all those in higher classes. This DNA is found inside the so-called chromosome. I used two words. One is I said chromosome, second I said DNA. So actually inside nucleus you have chromosomes. So you have seen the structure chromosome. And inside this chromosome, or I would say the chromosome is, inside the chromosome, DNA is formed or found in the form of a linear fashion. And this DNA that is found in a prokaryotic or a eukaryotic cell is responsible for controlling our characteristics, all our characteristics, like cornea color, hair texture, then intelligence, memory. All these are controlled by this so-called DNA. And so we call this DNA as genetic material. Since we have different types of living organisms in this world, it is very difficult to study about these kinds of living organisms. So we need a concept to learn about the living organisms in an easy way, to remember and to recall these living organisms in an easy way. And that's why we go for this, the topic called classification. So classification, it helps us to study about the various features, various characteristics of living organisms, and it also helps us to easily identify a living organism. The method of arranging organisms into different groups on the basis of their similarities and differences is called classification. Again I repeat, classification is the method of arranging all the living organisms into various groups based on their similarities and differences. The study of this classification is known as taxonomy. So taxonomy is the study of, or it can also be said as, it is the science of classification. Okay, taxonomy is the study of classification, or it is the science of classification, which makes the study of different living organisms easier. Taxonomy is a Greek word, which is obtained from a Greek word that is taxis, a Greek word taxis, which means arrangement, and nomia, which means method. So it is obtained from two important Greek words, taxis and nomia, which means a method of arrangement. Here it is a method of arrangement of living organisms. The father of taxonomy is Carolus Linnaeus. So he is the first person who started to study and classify the living organisms, and so he is called as the father of taxonomy. So he is also shortly called as Carl Linnaeus. So he not only him, there are many scientists who have classified. So all these classifications, they are based on various features that are found in the living organisms. For example, based on cell structure, based on the mode of nutrition, based on body organization, reproduction, etc. So based on all these characteristics only, scientists have classified living organisms into different types. This classification can be studied in a hierarchy way, starting with kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. That is, already we have learned this Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification. So where we learned there are 5 different kingdoms, or in other way I would say all living organisms can be classified under 5 kingdoms. Each kingdom can be classified into different phylums. Each phylum classified into different classes. Each class divided into different orders. Each order into different families. Each family into different genus. And each genus we have various species. For example, the scientific name of human beings is Homo sapien, in which the first word Homo is the genus name. So what we could find in this picture, the last 2 words, genus name Homo, and the species name is sapiens. So which means there are many species under the genus Homo. Homo erectus, Homo habilis, and the present human being, the modern human being, is actually called as Homo sapien. So like that we have from the beginning, let me say, in each kingdom we are going to learn in this lesson, we will have different phylums. In botany, this phylum, they don't use this word phylum, instead they use division. So under a kingdom, for example, under kingdom Plantae, there will be different divisions. But in zoology, that is in animals, when you learn about animals, you learn like this, that is kingdom. Under kingdom there will be different phylums. So there are 9 to 11 phylums. Then in each phylum there will be many classes. Each class comprises of many order into families, family divided into genus divided into different species. So this implies for all living organisms. So for all living organisms have different families, different order, different class, different phylums. Similarly, when you go to the least, different kinds of species. When you look into this hierarchy, you can find the lowest taxonomic category is species. So the highest category is kingdom, and from that the lowest is species. So in book they have given an example. I gave an example of human beings. I said Homo sapien and Homo habilis. Like that in book they have given an example. They have compared a large Indian parakeet and the green parrot. So the scientific name of large Indian parakeet is Psittacula eupatra, and that of the green parrot is Psittacula Crameri. So this Psittacula is the genus name which is common for both the type of birds, but the species name differs. So that is the importance of species. So like that we have a different species in this world. So coming again to the point, it is the lowest taxonomic category. The next highermost of species is genus. So in genus you have different types of species. So all different types of species which are similar are put under a genus. For example, again it is given the book, Indian wolf Canis pallips and Indian jackal Canis auris. So these two, one is a wolf and other is jackal. So wolf is a species, jackal is a species, but they both have one thing in common, that is they come under common genus Canis, Canis. Then the next category is family. A group of genera with several common characters, they form a family. So like how I said for genus, so among the species, if they have different, same characters, they are put under one genus, and collection of species which have some characters similar, they are put under another genus. Like that, animals which are under the genus, different genus, if they have same characteristics, they are put under one family. The best example is our cat family. So in cat family we have different genus. For example, we have leopard, we have tiger, we have lion, then black panther, etc, etc, etc. So all these belong to different genus, but they have something in common. You would be knowing what are the common features they have, and so they are considered under the common family Felidae. So Felidae includes cat family. The next hierarchy from below I am going. Okay, the next hierarchy is order. So different organisms of different families, if they have a same characteristic, they are put under an order. So the example that is given in our book is monkeys, baboons, apes and man, that is men. Okay, so all these even though we belong to different families, we are put under one order, that is primates. So primates includes monkeys, baboons, apes and man. Similarly, organisms which are under different orders, if they are similar in character, they are put under the class. For example, in book it is given this example: rabbit, rat, bats, whales, chimpanzee, human. They all have something in common, and so they are put under the class Mammalia. So what is common among these animals? So rabbit, which is a rodent, rat is also a rodent. What is a rodent? Which is found living under the soil. They have a well developed incisors teeth. Next, bat, they have wing like structures. Then whales, they are like fish, they appear like fishes, but actually they are not fishes. Then chimpanzees and human beings. So even though they are different animals, they belong to different species, different genus or different family, they have one thing in common. What is that? They have a mammary gland. What is mammary gland? The milk producing gland in females is called as mammary gland. So they are put under the class mammals, or correct word is mammalia. So mammalia, what are mammals or what are mammalia? Mammalia is a collection of animals which give birth to young ones and feed the young ones with milk. Okay. Then next is phylum. So similar organisms, like I am telling for each and every category, various different classes, if they have similar characters, they come under one phylum. For example, all mammals, all birds, all reptiles, all frogs and fishes, all are put under one phylum, Chordata. What is Chordata? Animals which have a notochord or vertebral column or backbone, those animals are called as chordates. So you come across mammals, birds, reptiles, frogs, which are from different classes. That is, class Mammalia, class Aves, Aves includes birds, class Reptilia, which includes reptiles, class Amphibia, which includes frogs and toads, and class Pisces, which includes all fishes. Even though they belong to different classes, since they have different characteristics, they are put under different classes. They are put under one phylum, that is Chordata, since they have backbone. Now, the last one is the highest category and the largest division, which is none other than kingdom. So this kingdom, for example, as we discussed before in the beginning of the lesson, kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. So I said in the beginning itself, and I said these kingdoms. So each have their own characteristics. For example, kingdom Plantae, which includes all plants. What is the importance of plants? What is the important characteristics of plants? Plants have chlorophyll pigment, and so they undergo photosynthesis. Similarly, when you look into a plant cell, they have cell wall. So like that, in animals, we don't have cell wall. They lack cell wall. Lack means they don't have cell wall. And similarly, they don't do photosynthesis. And most important is plants, all plants, they are autotrophic in nature, whereas all animals are heterotrophic in nature. That is, they depend on other animals or other organisms for their food. So based on this, they are classified into different kingdoms, as I said before. Okay, again I repeat: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. So in a reverse order, I can say a kingdom, that is, there are different kingdoms. For example, as per Whittaker, 5 kingdoms. Okay, under each kingdom you have different phylums. So I am starting from the largest. Okay, largest is kingdom. A kingdom comprises of different phylums. Each phylum is categorized into different classes. Each class distinguished into orders, orders into families, family into genus, and genus into species. So the largest category is kingdom, and the smallest is, or the least is, species.